Welcome back to another episode of the E2A Flippers podcast. And today's going to be a really exciting podcast video. I don't know if you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast, but this is going to be a fun video because I'm going to share an updated 2024 workflow update of my eBay to Amazon business. So I'm going to walk you through my entire updated eBay to Amazon workflow. So if you're wondering, eBay to Amazon, Steve, what the heck are you doing? I buy items from ebay.com and then I sell them on Amazon FBA. In the last year, I've done over $700,000. In the last 2+ years, I've done almost 20,000 flips from eBay, buying on eBay, flipping on Amazon, for close to $1 million. So on this podcast, I want to walk you through my entire updated process of how I run and operate this business, okay? So step number one, my virtual assistants purchase items on eBay. Now, I don't purchase items anymore. Maybe 1% of the items I purchase, but I have a team of 2 virtual assistants, shout out to Jane and Gia, who do all of my sourcing, okay? They are both from the Philippines. They're on a full-time salary for me. They get paid a salary. Also, they get paid bonuses and incentives if they hit certain metrics, source a certain amount of profit, certain amount of items, so on and so forth. I talk a lot more about that in my eBay to Amazon masterclass, but essentially that's step number one. They will purchase items from eBay for me using, really, there's like 4 methods, okay? Number one is FlipMine, and these are in no particular order, okay? FlipMine, that's a sourcing software that they use. We also have a custom replens software that we use, okay? We haven't released this yet, soon we will, but we're purchasing probably 70-80% of our items from our custom replens software, which will be coming out hopefully soon. For anyone who does eBay to Amazon, it'll be a game changer for you. And then we have a leads list and a replens list that we use. Now, this is a manual sourcing strategy. We really don't use this as much anymore now that we have our own software and we use FlipMine. But that's step number one. We purchase our items from ebay.com using those 4 different methods. Now, step number 2, after we purchase it, we update our E2A master sheet, okay? So if you're a part of the masterclass, you probably know about the master sheet. This is a custom software that we've built, that we've released. And essentially this master sheet, it runs on top of Google Sheets and it integrates with your eBay account. So literally every single time you purchase an item, most of all the data is gonna automatically get moved over to your sheet, okay? Including the title, the quantity of items that you purchase, the condition, the cost per order, and the cost per unit. It's gonna pull over the tracking number. It's gonna pull over a whole bunch of information, the eBay order number. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that it does. I'll create another video, but essentially we have to put in our own ASIN, and then we have to fill out like our list price, so on and so forth. And the master sheet is really helpful because when products start coming to our house, which we actually use a prep center now, but we used to not prep items for the first couple of years. When it comes to our house, we could scan the barcode with a barcode scanner into the master sheet, and it integrates with UPS, FedEx, and USPS, and it'll find our exact item, bring up a picture, our list price, ASIN, all of that. And it's literally one click to be able to list it using GoToLister. So I know that's a lot that I just threw at you, and I'll definitely make more videos about this. And again, for anyone who's in the masterclass, I go in depth and talk all about this, but we have to update our master sheet because again, that helps us to keep our entire business on the same page. And when we spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month on inventory on ebay.com to sell on Amazon, we have to make sure everything comes to us, that we receive it, that they don't send us the wrong item, so on and so forth. And the master sheet is extremely helpful when it comes to that. So if you do want to check the master sheet out, if you're flipping from eBay to Amazon, if you're buying at least a couple items or more per day, it'll literally pay for itself within the first month, okay? But you can get a free 30-day trial. I'll put a link on the screen below and you can check that out and go get a free 30-day trial. So step 1, my virtual assistants, Jane and Gia, they source the items with those 4 methods that we talked about. Number 2, they update our E2A master sheet. Again, the master sheet automatically pulls about 90% of the information over, but we do have to put in the ASIN. We also put our min-max price, our list price, so on and so forth. Now, step number 3, this is gonna differ based upon your method. I'll talk about the 2 ways that I do it. Method number 1 is if the items are gonna come to my house. Now, 98% of the inventory that we buy from eBay to Amazon right now at the time of this recording is going to a prep center. This was a big change we made. I've talked about it on the podcast and on my YouTube channel. I had a car that hit my house. I wasn't able to live there for almost 5 months. We literally just moved back in. I mean, it really motivated me to get a prep center, and Also, I have a girlfriend. It's kind of a little chaotic having a million packages come to the house every single day. So I moved to a prep center. So step number 3, I guess let's talk about the prep center first. So since I am 98% prep center right now, when we purchase an item on eBay, the cool thing is the master sheet, you could have it track all of your prep center purchases or items that come to your house. So what we do is we go into the master sheet and we change it. There's a button there where you can click either planned inventory, in transit, shipped, so on and so forth. It's pretty much the status of the prep center. So we update that in the master sheet. And then we go over to our prep center. They have a software where we have to put the item in under what's known as planned inventory, okay? So if you use a prep center, some prep centers are gonna have their own software. Other prep centers are gonna have like a Google document or whatnot. We don't use the master sheet with the prep center, just to let you know, okay? Those are completely different. The master sheet's just for us, okay? But we have to go in and we have to add the item that we purchased under planned inventory. So we put in the ASIN, the condition, the quantity, and what we're gonna list it for, okay? So if you're using a prep center, it literally takes 10 seconds. I know it probably sounds confusing. If you're not using a prep center, you're like, Steve, what are you talking about? You're so confusing, like I don't get it. Like, just know if you use a prep center, you have to let them know that you have an item that's coming to them so they know to be prepared to receive it and list it on your behalf, okay? So if you are using a prep center, and I essentially go into their software, add it as planned inventory, update the master sheet, and we're good to go. Now, if you're not using a prep center, then the next step is as the items start to come to your house, what you're gonna wanna do, and what I do, is I scan the packages into the master sheet. So say I have a package here that maybe there's a DVD in a box. All I do is I take my barcode scanner, I scan the tracking number, and remember the master sheet pulls the tracking number in. So I just scan the package, it instantly finds it, it pulls up the item, I open the box, make sure it's the correct item, the correct quantity, it's in good shape, and the master sheet will literally copy the ASIN and the list price, and I can literally just paste that in a go-to lister and list the item. Now there may be some prepping involved, right? Some items require, a poly bag, or some items might require a little bit of cleaning, so on and so forth. But that's step number 3, okay? If I do have some items that I don't send to a prep center, very few nowadays, but essentially I scan them all into the master sheet. And again, go check out the E2A master sheet. I'll put a link below and you can really see how it all works. I'm trying to keep this as more of a high level video. But the item comes in, I scan it into the master sheet, I inspect it, I make sure that I received what I was supposed to from the eBay seller, which sometimes the eBay seller, and this is why the master sheet's so valuable, they'll try to scam you. They'll send you 2 quantity when you were supposed to get 3. They'll send you the wrong ASIN, they'll send you the wrong item, and that's the great part about the master sheet. When you scan it in, it pops up on the screen, the item, the quantity, all the information. And again, that's a software I've been building for over a year. And then we just list it in go-to lister. We put in the condition, the list price, so on and so forth. And again, the master sheet helps with that, okay? Now, step number 4 for me personally is we monitor the prep center to make sure they receive the item, list it, and ship it, okay? Now again, not to toot my own horn with the master sheet. I know I feel like I'm shoving it down your throat. I don't mean to, I'm just sharing what I do. But the master sheet integrates with UPS, USPS, and FedEx, so I can literally look at the master sheet and it updates in real time the package. Did it get to the prep center? Is it on its way to the prep center? So I have to just monitor to make sure that the package gets to the prep center, okay? And when it does, when they scan the item into the system, it's gonna go from planned inventory to then received. And then when they go in and create a shipment and list it, it's gonna change to shipped, okay? So essentially step number 4 is I monitor the prep center to make sure they receive it, list it, and ship it. Now, if I wasn't using a prep center and some of the items that I'm not, utilizing for a prep center, all I'm doing is I'm just going into my shipments under Amazon Seller Central, and I'm just monitoring the status of the FC transfer. Did it get checked in? Did it get listed? Is it 100% reconciled? Like, did I send them 30 items? Did they get 29? Did they get 30? Did they get 25? Did it get checked in? Did it get listed? I mean, that's essentially step number 4. And that would apply for a prep and also not using a prep center. And then step 5, reprice inventory, okay? It's very important. It doesn't matter if you're doing eBay to Amazon, wholesale, OA, RA, thrifting, you've got to reprice your inventory. So on the back end, we use BeCool. If you want to check out BeCool, I'll put a link down below for an extended 30-day free trial. but we use various rules and pricing strategies. I've made videos about this. Matter of fact, I'll put some Be Cool training videos down below that I've made that shares and walks you through my whole process of repricing. And after certain periods of time, I change my strategy to get it moving. So you can check that out. But step 5 is where we reprice inventory. And step 6, we replenish the products that sold and we rinse and repeat. So from a high level, just to break it down, step 1, my virtual assistant, they purchase the items, okay. Step 2, we update our E2A master sheet. Step 3, since we're using a prep center, we go into the prep center software, we add it to planned inventory, so on and so forth. Step 4, we monitor the prep center to make sure they receive it, list it, ship it. Step 5, we reprice our inventory. And of course, there's some back-end stuff, stranded inventory, high pricing errors that we do have to fix from time to time. And then step 6, we replenish when our product sells. Now I'll tell you right now, guys, if it wasn't for the E2A master sheet, this business would be an absolute nightmare, because when you're doing eBay to Amazon at scale, you're gonna have eBay sellers who don't ship you your stuff. And if you're buying a ton of stuff, you're gonna miss those. The master sheet catches all of those. They're gonna send you the wrong quantities. The master sheet catches it. They're gonna send you the wrong products, the wrong ASINs, damaged products. The master sheet helps you with returning, dealing with refunds, tracking it all. And there's also an integration with the master sheet with the prep center as well. And again, I'll say this again, I'm not trying to shove the master sheet down your throat, even though it is my own software and it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but I am proud. I built this software to be able to reconcile and track and list a lot faster and make sure eBay sellers aren't screwing us over. So I'm telling you right now, if you're not using the master sheet and you're doing any type of volume with E2A, with a prep center or without a prep center, you have to get it. I'm telling you right now, it'll change the game. Try it for 30 days. But that's essentially my workflow right now in 2024. I'm spending probably less than 5 hours a week right now. I don't source anymore. I don't list anymore. I don't even manage the prep center. My virtual assistants manage the prep center. I'm literally just going over reports and making high-level decisions, with just higher-level stuff, maybe new softwares, new strategies with repricing, hiring people. I've made a video as well recently sharing the top 10 activities I do in my eBay to Amazon business, so I'll link that up down below as well. But that's it. That's my workflow in 2024. I know it probably sounds a bit complicated, but if you're in the masterclass or if you've been doing this for a while, it probably makes a bit more sense to you. If you're new, don't worry about the prep center, guys. Honestly, if you're new, prep everything yourself. You want to learn the process of inspecting items. You want to learn how to source correctly. You can't outsource sourcing until you learn how to master sourcing. If you outsource it, you're literally going to lose money. The same with prepping and getting a prep center. You don't want to outsource to a prep center until you understand how to analyze deals, purchase items, understand how to deal with high pricing errors and shipping and margins and sell-through rates. There's a lot to this business. And unfortunately, a lot of folks who watch my channel, they think they know what they're doing, but unfortunately, there's only so much you can know if you've been doing this for 2 or 3 months. There's levels to this game, and as complicated as I made this sound, it is a bit complicated, but this is how I'm able to work less than 5 hours a week, and this is how I cleared over 6 figures last year with this workflow that's been improved over the years. So if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. Take it slow. Don't try to compete with me or the next guy or the next gal. Start at step 1, then go to step 2, then step 3. You're probably not going to want to implement this full entire workflow right off the bat. It takes time. But that's the beautiful part about selling on Amazon. There's so many levels to this game, and I feel like I'm on level like 3 out of 10, right? There's so many levels that I'm looking forward to growing into in the future and just sharing my journey. So hopefully it helped. Hopefully you enjoyed the workflow, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.